Alright, I am back again with another Koenji Shawn reviews. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Ito Junji and the Ushi-no-Toki-Mairi connection. So if you're a big fan of Ito Junji or even a minor fan of Ito Junji, you're probably familiar with one of his most infamous characters, Soichi. If you forgot, Soichi is the weird shut-in that has no friends. He's got nails in his mouth, or sometimes nails for fangs or teeth, and he curses people. The Soichi character first emerged in the Horror Comics Collection, Volume 5, which was Diary of Delights. He then reemerges in Volume 6, which was Diary of Curses. He's also in another series that I don't think has been translated officially into English yet, which is the Kyofu Hakubutsukan, or the Museum of Terror. And the story was Soichi no Katena Noroi, or Soichi's selfish curse. So anyways, he emerged in those stories first. If you remember and he was also in the OVA, the 12-episode OVA that was made, and he's a fan favorite. Everyone just loved him. I watched a bunch of reaction videos on YouTube and some other blog posts about the OVA, and almost everyone brings up Soichi as being one of the best characters in there. He's probably second only to Tomie as far as popularity of Ito Junji characters. But anyways, going back to Volume 5 of the Horror Comic Collection. In this story, we meet him as Yusuke and Michina, his cousins, spend their summer vacation on holiday out in the countryside with Soichi's family. Soichi also has a brother and sister and his parents as well. Again, Soichi is kind of a weirdo shut-in, and during their visit, many odd things occur. So how is this connected to the Ushi-no-Toki-Mairi? Well, the Ushi-no-Toki-Mairi began in the Heian Period. It's kind of an act of placing curses on someone, and it literally means the Ox Hour Shrine Visit. Ushi-no-Toki, Ox Hour, Shrine Visit, Mairi. So this Ox Hour is maybe similar to something like the Witching Hour or Devil's Hour in the West, which was 3 o'clock. In Japan, the Ox Hour is between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. So you can see the connection there. And this is a time when the act is practiced. Is what it usually was traditionally, was typically a scorned woman dressed in all white would go to the shrine tree, or a tree of a shrine, and hammer a nail into it for 7 consecutive nights. She would be wearing all white. She would have an iron crown on, and on that iron crown there would be 3 candles. She would also wear very tall geita sandals. As you know, geita sandals are those traditional Japanese sandals with the 2 pieces of wood that are kind of hard to walk on, but hers would be very tall. I think she also wore a mirror concealed within her white kimono around her neck, but it's never shown in any of the pictures, but it's in some of the literature. In the later period, in the Edo period, a straw effigy was incorporated into a ritual called a waraningyo, and that was nailed into the tree. Then on the 7th consecutive night of nailing this effigy into the tree, the portion or place of the effigy where you hammer that final nail into becomes the point of pain or the point of death of the victim. Whatever, so if it's in the heart or the head or the stomach or something like that, maybe the hand. So anyways, that was the traditional story. If you look at the famous woodblock print artist Hokusai or Seikien Toriyama documented 100 yokai. He's very famous. He depicts the Ushi-no-Toki-Mairi as well as Hokusai, and in their paintings there's also an ox in the background or foreground, because traditionally after casting the spell or getting the spell to work, at the end you courageously mount a bull or an ox and ride away. That's not seen so much anymore, but that was depicted in those old woodblock printings. And then this story was picked up by, of course, master of all things yokai, Shigeru Mizuki, and I have seen it in a number of his yokai encyclopedias and dictionaries. So it's kind of, the legends turned into somewhat of a yokai over time. How is this connected to Ito Junji's Soichi character? Well, Soichi is not a scorned woman, this is true, but he is a shut-in who despises his peers and his teachers and his family. He also curses people, and when he does so, he often is wearing white garb. He wears a crown of candles, but in this story, 4 candles, but in other depictions, 2 candles. I mean, the Funko Pop toys, 2 candles. A couple other things images are 2 candles. I don't remember in the OVA, but you see 2 more than 4, but the original story was 4 candles. But at any rate, and he's got that mouthful of nails because in the story, his mother says that he has an iron deficiency, which forces him to carry around nails in his mouth all the time. But we can see that connection there to the iron crown that supports the candles on the head of the Ushi-no-Toki-Mairi. So we can see all these connections that Ito Junji took from this one old legend from the Heian period that was kind of transformed into something more closer to Soichi's character in the Edo period and is still around today. Of course, the Wara Ningyo appears, or that kind of straw effigy appears in a lot of horror tales, manga, and horror films, and somewhat. And even in the West, I mean, what was the old one? The Blair Witch Project. There's all those weird stick effigies in the forest and stuff. So that's a pretty common trope. And but if you dig deeper into the Soichi character, that's where you find all those tidbits, like the connection between the iron and he doesn't hammer nails into a tree or effigy into a tree, but he does into his room and into the attic of his house. Actually, at the beginning of volume 6, he does into a tree, maybe. But anyways, at one point he even creates a cloth effigy of someone he dislikes in order to replace them with the cloth effigy. If you've seen the OVA or if you've read the horror comics collection, you know what I'm talking about. I just don't want to do any spoilers. So that is the connection between Ito Junji's infamous character Soichi and the Ushi-no-Toki-Mairi legend and yokai. All right, join us over on Discord because it is mad fun. You get lots of recommendations. I post links up there before I post them anywhere else, but you can also find me at Koenji Reviews. Just Google it and you'll find my blog. You'll find the website. We're over there on Vimeo as well, and Instagram, Koenji Shawn Reviews. You can find it. And I appreciate all the subs, likes, and comments and stuff. I reply to every comment, so feel free to pop one down below, and I will talk to you again soon. Mate ne.